Scorin starts us off by saying, hi, Twitch and YouTube. Welcome, everybody, to Knights of the Old Republic, Part 6. Now that we're all good and warmed up after our guitar break, which was actually more of a kind of a lead-in for the evening. Yeah, we're ready to get started, and in last session we finished up everything that we needed to do on Kashyyyk, and we are headed to Tatooine. So we'll go ahead and get this party started. It's all good fun. There's a lot of there seems to be a lot of fun with this game. I'm for one, I'm definitely enjoying my time playing through this, but yeah, I hope you guys really enjoyed the live playing. I have actually been playing a lot more lately than I have been in the last couple of years, trying to get everything kind of going again. The thing is that I've always kind of felt like I've been a mediocre guitar player, and I'm a little tired of being mediocre. So, yeah, just doing my best to try and catch up a little bit. Get started like Shrek and Donkey, my lord. Who to put in the party? I'll put Canderous in, and I think I'm going to put Bastila in as well. Now, I'm trying to remember. I think we have already gone out to Tatooine.
Welcome
so here we are.
Anchorhead,
Anchorhead.
customer. Zerka Corporation stands ready to serve, after some formalities, of course. First, your ship is not on our list of planned arrivals for today. There is a docking fee of 100 credits because of this.
What do I get for my 100 credits?
The immediate benefit is access to these ferry docking facilities. This is the only port in Anchorhead. Once you've paid, we will offer trade services as well.
Those lip syncs, though, they are pretty bad, yeah.
Expenses.
If I don't have the money, what if I say no, I can't pay the fee right now? Fine, I'll pay.
I thought you would. Without these fees, Zerka Corporation would have closed this port years ago. This will cover any future landings as well. It's like a registration.
Thanks for that loosen up.
So we can serve you better when you return. Now, as a customs officer, I can provide information on services. Is this visit business or pleasure?
I can provide information on services. Visit. Definitely a pleasure trip to Tatooine, because that's what people do, right? Some background on Tatooine. I need good paying work. What is there to do? I'm looking for very specific things. Who should I ask?
That's not much information. Could you tell me more?
I'm looking for older things, antiques, artifacts.
You a digger? I've heard of ruins being found now and
Now
then.
sit straight. I am
but
sitting
they've
straight. I
always
don't know what
been
more you want
stripped
from
by
me.
sand people soon after. You're not going to get anywhere with them. I guess you could ask around, but I doubt you'll learn anything different. You could always ask a Jawa. It's hard to tell what they know.
Let's see. Give me some background on Tatooine. Resident Evil did win something. Best VR. Oh, yes. Yes, I did see that they won the best VR game of the year. So at least there's that. It wasn't anything for Resident Evil 4, unfortunately, but it was still Resident Evil nonetheless. Shoot the guy and take his money. He's got the laser eye thingies, like Cyclops from X-Men.
There isn't much to tell. It's a very old planet, well past its prime. Zerka Corporation is the only company with any interest in it. It's not a very pretty world, but there is opportunity here if you know where to look.
Tell me about Zerka Corporation's operations here.
I can't really get into that. It hasn't been a very smooth operation. I shouldn't get into it.
Uh-huh. Come on now, friend. Let me in on the details.
It's common knowledge, so there's no harm in telling you. It's a tale of bad business. You see, Zerka Corporation staked their claim to this planet based on some very
Looking under a rock. Will we find
geological
something there?
surveys.
We might.
Unfortunately, that information was incorrect, and possibly even an attempted sabotage by a rival company.
So Zerka Corporation set up shop on a barren planet.
Not totally barren. There were a few good years of mining, and limited operations are still in place. But the ore is flawed. It has peculiar properties. They've had to look at other forms of business.
What do you mean when you say the ore is peculiar?
Zerka Corporation has really tried to hide this, but it just seems that Tatooine metal is unfit for effective manufacturing. I would imagine that this outpost will eventually be abandoned. Nobody is making any money here. Of course, this rock may have been settled a few times, so look for some other company to get stuck with it.
What other forms of business are being looked at here?
Pursuits that appeal to the casual traveler. There are some fearsome native species that provide exciting hunting. There are also lengthy barren wastes that serve as fine swoop tracks. Attracting business has been slow, however.
Where should a person look for opportunity?
It depends on what level of risk you want to take. You could ask at the Zerka office if any bounties need collecting. That's in Central Anchorhead. While you're at the office, ask for a hunting license so you can sell trophies to Faza in his lodge, just north of them. I suppose you could also take up swoop racing. Talk to the hut at the registration office by the track. That's in West Anchorhead.
I see.
I can't say I know which of these jobs is the most dangerous. I stay away from all of them.
I'm done with you. Stay out of my business or else. Yeah.
As you wish. If you need anything else, I'll be here.
I love reading you guys the options I don't use. I'm just amused at what is available in here. I got a quote back from Warmoth. If I were to have them build me a Baritone Explorer in transparent purple, it would cost $1,100, and then with the tuners and the bridge and pickups, I'm looking at about $1,600. Nope. Oh well. I mean, I'd pay that for a good guitar. Can't lie. I actually do kind of wish that I had spent a little bit more money on my 7-string. The thing is that my 7-string, I do like the 7-string. The RGA7 is really good. However, there are some things that, as I've gotten acquainted with the instrument, I can tell it is a cheaper guitar comparatively to some others that are out there. And I find myself once again looking at that RGD. Hello there, Captain. Let's see. Yes, here it is. Looks like the shipment has been delivered to your ship as requested. What shipment was that again? Well, let me see. Docking Bay 32, check. Crate 42B7, check. Manifest list, Lifeform, Gizka. Everything seems to be in order. Excuse me, did you say Gizka? It says right here on the manifest, you ordered a crate of Gizka to be delivered to Docking Bay 32. That's right here. And all I need is your thumbprint for the... Wait a second, where did the data pad go? Nothing is ever organized around here. At any rate, the Gizka are yours. One of the loaders said the crate split open once you put it in your hold. Some of the critters might have gotten loose. Oh no. That happens, I'm afraid. We don't accept liability, and we certainly couldn't take the cargo back. Enjoy! Great. That's just great. I don't even know what Gizkas are, but that doesn't sound good. RGD is very nice. It does look very nice. And I am very intrigued by it. I used to have a Flying V one, but ended up selling to pay some bills. I really would like to just have it back to say I have it. I didn't know you had much experience with guitar. I read that as RPD because Resident Evil. Yep, of course you did. Can't say I blame you, though. So, like, do I'll deal with it later. Played a lot back in college days. That's awesome. That is really awesome. Did you play in a band, or were you just kind of a on your own individual? It's really, I don't know that I can really say that I played in much of a band, because Absinthe really isn't that much of a band, although it started off with the intent to be one. Yeah, it was Metal King and I for the guitars, and my buddy Colton on drums with Iron Man 2992, who pops in periodically, was on bass. That was the startup for Absinthe. And after a little bit of time, unfortunately, it came to be that Iron had some life things that he needed to address, as did Metal King. And my buddy and I, the dude who was on the drums, he had already had about 3 or 4 years of guitar playing experience before all of this. He just really wanted to start a band. But we realized that we were probably the only two who could put in the time to making music work, so we continued on as just the two of us, getting through music projects for all of these throughout all the years. So now have all of the songs in your playlist now. Do you really? That is awesome. All 10 of them, right? Yeah, the cover for Smoke 'Em If You Got 'Em was the most recent one that we did. And what was funny is that we did that one earlier this year. It is the first thing that we've done in a while, but we had been talking about doing that cover for a long time, and it just came to be that I told him, dude, I just want to do some music again. I kind of miss just having a project to work on. And he said, okay, let's do Smoke 'Em If You Got 'Em. And I was just like, okay, fine, let's totally do it. And practicing the stupid thing, it's always been our warm-up song. Whenever we get together and jam, it's just the song that we both are like, okay, this isn't our song, and we both know how to play it, so let's just go through it before we get into any of our own stuff and just, like, explore, or just get kind of in sync and get warmed up with the song. So when we decided, okay, let's record this song, we did it in a week. No joke, we recorded both his and my parts, and I mixed it in a week. And I said, wow, that is the fastest we've ever gone through putting a song together, ever. I mean, granted, it's not our song, but we do have one other cover song in there. It's called I Will Never Let You Down. It is the only of the songs that has, well, it's actually my singing / screaming in it. And yeah, that one is also a cover from the band Caliban, which is a German band. So yeah, and even still, anything that we've done previously has taken us a year or two to put together. That's actually why the song 2 Years is called 2 Years. It's because it literally took us 2 years to finish it. But yeah, with the project that we're in right now, trying to re-record everything, we don't really have a set deadline, since he is a busy individual. He has his own life that he, has to tend to and everything. So we are mostly just trying to do as much of this work as we can over the internet, because we just share files through Google Drive, and I throw it into the DAW on my own computer, and I'll take his recordings and plug it in on my computer, and I'll work with it on my computer. So, and that's currently our operation right now. So we're kind of a digital format where we record when we can. We practice when we can, we record when we can, and I mix it when I can. So, how goes Coder? That's a great question, Power. So we're 48 minutes into this stream, and so far we've gotten like maybe 5 minutes of progress. We've stepped off the ship on Tatooine, and that's about as far as we've gotten so far. We started this off with some guitar time, so Rar had redeemed some Guitar Break, and we played some guitar before we started. We've been talking a lot about music tonight instead of actually playing the game. A Scar Symmetry guitar color would be legit. I haven't looked at any of the equipment that Scar Symmetry uses. I'm actually kind of awful when it comes to being a musician and exploring into bands. I like the sound of the music. I don't typically learn very many of the band members' names. I don't really know much about individuals in the band, and I don't know what equipment they use. I am purely in for the music pretty much at any given time. I'll go see a show for a band, and I don't know a single one of their names, but I know I like their music, and that's all that matters to me. And that's where Scorns comes in. Okay, let's level up Bastila. Let's see. We can use treat injury and awareness. I don't know that I like that. Ability character to spot objects or enemies hidden by stealth. Okay, I guess we're doing that. But yeah, since we've caught up a little bit, how are you doing this evening, Power? I hope that your week may have hopefully been a little bit better, but all things considered, I wouldn't be too surprised if kind of feels a little rocky at the moment. Which is completely understandable. Funerals tomorrow. That's a hard place to be in, but I hope that all, you know, it goes as well as it can. Well, I get a point. Okay. 1 skill point. That charisma is close. I suppose we can give that an additional modifier. I'm going to throw this on stealth. In my experience, while the funeral is a very hard thing to be in attendance for, it does offer that closure. Kind of settles everything, so it's not pleasant, but it helps, I think. At least it does for me. My grandma's permission to wear what I want instead of formal wear. At least you can be comfortable. All right.
What? Yes?
Okay. Should we go poke around in the area a little bit? I thought I'd see moisture farming as a better living than mining. That's not a real door. But that is. What is this place? Kudos. Hello, human. Are you a hunter like the others here? Not the life for me, but I admire you for it. What do you do? I fill the days with games of Pazak. Not that there's many people who play to play with, but a person should keep busy somehow. I play with that fellow in the cantina, but I find him distasteful. He does not play for the same reasons I do. Let's go back to my other questions. Could I ask you about Tatooine? Oh, I doubt I could tell you more than the rest of these fellows. I haven't set foot outside Anchorhead, and I don't know why anyone would want to. Tatooine isn't a very hospitable place. I'll be going as soon as parts for my ship arrive. May take some time, though. Heard any rumors from off-planet? Nothing since that unfortunate business on Taris. The Republic is reeling from that, as are we all. It's troubling. But you can't let that call a stop to your day. We've survived worse, and will again. It's just the way things are. Alright, I have to go. Seems rather unhelpful, I think. Comad Fortuna. Interesting. People related to my grandpa by blood mostly have a weird gene where we cry easily at anything starting adulthood, so it'll probably be pretty full of crying people. That's a pretty safe bet. I mean, even I wasn't... I get kind of really emotional at funerals as well, so... But I think that is kind of a natural response to have.
There's not enough jobs here for permanent citizens, let alone use spacer drop-ins.
Oh, hey, Jawas. Of course, Bastila has something on her mind.
How can I help?
I'd like to know more about you, Bastila.
Yes, I suppose I can understand your curiosity, given the bond that connects us. Very well. I'll tell you a bit about myself.
Tell me how you joined the Jedi, then.
I was found to be strong with the Force at a young age, as most Padawans are. As a girl, I was given to the Order to be trained. When I joined the Order, I left my family on Tal Ravan, as all Padawans do. My family is still there, the last that I heard. I've had little contact with them, as it is discouraged.
So, discouraged. I mean, I know the answer to both of these, but for the sake of progressing, discouraged, why?
Relationships with family members are fraught with powerful emotions. Such extremes are to be avoided. Anger and hate are the worst, but even love can lead to folly.
Yeah, you aren't allowed to love?
Emotional entanglements can be dangerous. They can impair rational thought. They can lead to outbursts of uncontrolled emotion. A Jedi must be above such things.
You don't sound very convinced.
It can be a hard lesson to learn. I was not on good terms with all of my family, but I do remember missing my father terribly for a long time.
Who weren't you on good terms with?
I was not on good terms with my mother. I was only a little girl when I left, but I was old enough to resent her and the way she treated my father. She pushed my father into treasure hunting. I spent all my young life on ships, traveling from one false lead to the next. She whittled away my father's entire fortune, and I hated her for it. I think she was relieved to give me to the Jedi, but my father was heartbroken.
Damn. You never try to get in touch with your father again?
A child is too young to understand the sacrifices that must be made. It's better if they have no contact with their family once they're removed. Once I was older, I realized the wisdom of this policy. A Jedi must do what is needed, personal desires notwithstanding. Love can only obscure and confuse the matter.
You sound very sad when you say that.
Even a Jedi cannot always control the feelings of the heart. We must do our best to guard against it, no matter what the cost. But some sacrifices are harder than others. I do not wish to discuss this anymore. I would rather return to our mission.
I see. Well, that was interesting. Usually recommend Tatooine first out of all of this section's planets because of a certain character. Is that right? Well, we came this way because of a recommendation we'd received from some other viewers. Giants of sand never trade fair. Giants in the sand will be here long after you, so will Jawa. Oh, hey.
Lord Malak was most displeased when he learned you had escaped Taris alive. He has promised a great reward to whoever destroys you.
Okay. Well, seeing as we can't be friendly about it, let's see. Sure. weird one instead of being emotional. I don't know if my normal self or just emotional but both the same thing. That's super loud for anybody else. You've adopted 2-weapon fighting. Well, yes. Yes, I have, as a matter of fact.
What can I do?
Yeah? What?
Was a little loud? Yeah, I was worried about that. Because I bumped it up the other day for Tears of the Kingdom. Yeah, and I don't suppose that this game has anything in the way of... Thing is, though, if I turn it down, most of the game is going to be too quiet, unless it spikes for some reason. Oh, we can turn the movie volume down, though. That's good to know. This controller does not like to cooperate.
Sand people wiped out my moisture farm. And what does Zerka do? Nothing.
It was you who failed in the leveling. Well, like I said, I had to turn it up for Tears of the Kingdom the other day. Strongest path in this game, and one I usually do. Yeah, I've kind of... I mean, having played Dungeons and Dragons a bit, I know I use that a lot, but it is true. There is actually quite a bit of parallel. Having played Dungeons and Dragons, I understand the benefit of 2-weapon fighting. So, you know, it just makes sense. It makes sense to use it.
Huh? Who are you then? The only new people that come to Junix Nard's Cantina are long-time losers and bounty hunters. I don't have to tell you why the two don't mix well. Please keep any blaster fire to a minimum.
We'll see about that. I want to ask you about things here on Tatooine. Anything out of the ordinary happening?
Suppose you're fishing for a reaction to the destruction of Taris. That's all anyone from off-world is talking about. Well, I'll tell you, it's about time someone kicked the Republic in the tail and got things moving. I guess the Sith are the ones that do it. Don't get me wrong, all those deaths were horrible. But war gets the money moving. Maybe they'll decide to fortify us out here.
Know anything more local? It's literally based on D&D 3.5 edition. Not even a joke. Yeah. Yep. And because there's that much parallel, it does help. Welcome to Nard's Cantina, home of the famous Nard juice, so thick that you have to use a straw. That's right, you must suck his Nard juice. Damn it, King. Will somebody ban him again? Shots fired! We're gonna have to start keeping track of how many times King gets banned. I think King probably gets banned more than anybody else here.
No?
No. No, you don't know, or no, you won't tell me.
Just no. I don't look for trouble. You'll have to talk to people yourself if you want more than that. You don't mind?
Okay, fine. I'll have to go.
Yeah.
Goodbye. Sorry, guys, I'm a bit tired. This is the drawback to the not really drinking soda thing. Is without that caffeine boost, I get tired real quickly Friday nights.
Well now, what can Gandalf do for you? It's been a while since I've had anyone bother talking to me. Usually it's some kid
I have to
wondering what
start
my
reading
operation
ahead on the
days were
messages.
like.
I might.
I was back on Taris, and it seems like a long time.
Didn't see that coming, did you? V for swearing and King for banning. This adds to something. Some kid wondering what an old racing days were like, but that was back on Terra. Seems like a long time ago. I wanted to ask you a few questions if you don't have the if you have the time.
I'm not sure what a have that you would be interested in. I'm just an old swoop jock that doesn't have the head for it anymore.
I'm looking for something. Who knows this planet best?
Ask me again in a few years, and it'll be me. I'm probably not going back out on the circuit. There is one. But for now, I don't know any more than the next guy. But you should try the locals. If Zhao is maybe funny little guy.
Okay. Talk to the Jawa. Why'd you bother we Jawa under Isis? Or do you not care for ours? Do you miss that we are taken? No. You try to speak more clearly. We that are taken, are some of your people missing? Is that your leader? Where is he? Jawa babble. I don't have time for this. Isis stands at the walls, hold out the sand. Hey, listen. As you're tired of giant speak, might as well slave to recruit Gaffy. So if you trade,
It's not that hard to understand if you listen. It's just odd.
voices Jawa under Isis are not flawed. The ears of your kin are poor. Always speak plain of our missing. Have you some of your people gone missing? Is this interest? Not from your kind, though. Isis thinks otherwise. Speak to him if you are acting and pretending. Jawas are tired of giant speak. Might as well slave to Gaffy. Okay. Interesting. Maybe we talked to these Jawa already. Trade and scavenge people will buy, not so good now. Giants that say I never trade fair. And that was the cantina. Hardly any shifts available this week. I should give up digging.
Womp rats are not good eating. Trust me.
Okay. That's good to know, guys. Don't eat womp rats. That's the lesson to be
So,
taken
Bastila,
here.
I heard a rumor that the Vulkars captured you without much of a struggle. It must be embarrassing to be bested by a handful of street thugs.
There were extenuating circumstances, and I can assure you, it took far more than a handful of Vulkars to subdue me.
Yeah, I'm sure there were 20 of them. I mean 50. No, wait, 100.
Whatever you say. All I know is that if we had more Jedi like Bastila fighting against us in the Mandalorian Wars, my side might not have lost.
Bold talk from a broken-down mercenary who was serving at Davik's heel. I'd call you his pet cat-hound. But they have enough loyalty not to turn on their masters.
Insults? Maybe if your master had trained your lightsaber to be as quick as your tongue, you could have escaped those Vulkars, you spoiled little Jedi princess.
Woo!
Spoiled? I was given the same training as everyone else in the Order. You are nothing but No, I must not do this. There is no emotion. There is peace.
That's the problem with you Jedi. Always chanting about peace and control. Never up for a good fight. Well, except for Revan, I guess.
Enough,
Oof.
Mandalorian. I won't rise to your bait anymore. The game is over. Let us continue on with what we were doing.
That was spicy. Alright, so we're looking for one near the gate to the desert. Sand stays, all else changes. Aha. Hey, yo.
Yes?
Oh, sure.
You there, of your kind, can you help Isis of Jawa? There are troubles from the ghosts among the sands. What is that you want, Jawa? Isis, I am, leader of the tribe that is mine. You are the same, unkind, a leader that stands before your tribe. There are troubles that we have, the giants made of sand. They are horned ghosts that take us away. Giants made of sand. Sand people? That is how you know them. Giants are different for us. We being smaller, people of sand are who I mean. So Isis, what is it you want me to do? There has been no help given by asking the great group that digs with machines. Now Isis asks you. I ask that you find us, then bring it away from the people of sand. Then we will offer a trade with you. Long have we scavenged among you and those that came before. We have things that we'll like for this service. Manus, how's it going? Good morning, I think. Good evening. I'm not sure. You're probably a distance of what, maybe 7 hours apart from me. So it would be about 5 a.m. I landed on it. Sweet, I got it. Yep, I thought as much. So yeah, 5 a.m. Well, good morning to you. It's Kenny from South Park. Oh my gosh, they just killed Kenny. Yeah, we're still very lively over here at 9 p.m. So still got some life of the party going on. Tell me about where your people are. Maybe I'll help. People of the sand in the sand. There is a place so far south where they live. The approach holds great fighting. Bring the tribe from in to out, and there will be payment and trade and thanks. I'll check it out when I leave the city. Goodbye. This hopes you have the luck you need. Well, there's a gate here. Do I have to talk to this person? Gate guard Bilan.
No one leaves Anchorhead without proper authorization.
I go where I want. Show me respect. Where'd I go to get authorization?
Only one place, and it means dangerous work. Go to the Zerka office for a hunting license. They sell them for Faz's Lodge.
Okay. Well, let's go then. I suppose we should heal up. Tell me that isn't Kenny. Even has the little mumbling going on. Orange hat over the face. I'm actually not too familiar with South Park, if I'm being honest, but I know just enough. I know just enough. But I suppose you're not wrong. Okay, where's this Zerka office at? Hunting Lodge. Zerka office. And Jawas do get slaughtered in A New Hope, only to show back up. Swoop registration. There we go. Zerka office. You'll be hearing about this, you Zerka puppet. I'm not going to let this drop. You can't just murder a whole village. And don't tell me to take my concerns to your corporate kiosk. I know when I'm not wanted. What's going on here? Who are you? I'm done talking in this office. They aren't interested in listening to me. I doubt they'll even acknowledge I was here. Typical corporate evasion. That's what happens when they own everything. No accountability. Don't even bother bringing it up. Rita Hola. Yes, what is it? If it's about mining or sand people, you go to the Zerka officers. I just manage the storehouse. What do you have available for purchase? Mostly just standard Zerka provisions and supplies, not enough to keep the locals happy. Have a look. Life support packs. Ooh. Helpful. Thermal detonators, grenades, a breath mask, standard issue gear for public forces and most professional soldiers protecting against a variety of gas-based attacks. Interesting. Motion detection goggles, probably to help with the sneaky sneaks. Protocol officer.
Can I help you? These are the offices of the Zerka Corporation. I trust you have business with the company? If this is about employment, I'm afraid all regular mining positions are full. And before you ask, we are also no longer selling hunting licenses.
Oh yeah, we are looking for a miner named Griff, aren't we?
Griff? There's no Griff here. Never heard of him. No, I don't remember a single Griff on the Zerka Corporation payroll.
Uh-huh. Are you certain of that? I would leave sooner if I knew.
Oh, you mean that Twi'lek? Must have slipped my mind for a second. Yes, of course I remember Griff. We hired that Twi'lek some time ago. Not a good worker, according to his crew chief. Always complaining and faking injuries to get out of work. He entered false timesheets and slept through his shifts. We even suspected him of stealing Zerka Corporation supplies, although we could never prove it.
Yes, that sounds like him.
We would have fired him, but we needed workers. It would have been better for him if he had been fired. Then the Sand People wouldn't have gotten him.
Very close to hitting my milestone on Instagram. Excellent. Glad to hear that. Looks like I'll be doing the Q&A for music sooner than I realized. That would be really ideal. Yeah, it'd be very interesting to start seeing some of what you got for yeah, if you start putting stuff out for Instagram for those music Q&As. Yeah, I'll definitely be interested in looking at them. I do have one thing that I feel like is a subtle drawback for my recent attempt to participate more in Instagram. When I like your stuff, I am now also notified anytime that you respond to somebody else's comments. I don't get notified every time everybody comments, but anytime you comment, I get notified about it. I'm like, okay, I do not need a single notification every time Scorns replies to somebody else. So I don't know how to get Instagram to stop doing that. I'm going to have to futz around with the settings, I guess. But yeah, it's just one of those things where I'm like, this is not helpful. But yeah, very nice. Congratulations to you. Breath mask is so useful in to certain area that my character perpetually wears it after I get it. If you don't miss it in an early area, there's a guaranteed one. Oh, there are two of them. Okay. Mark Zuckerberg got some explaining to do. He's got a lot of explaining to do. So what did they say? We would have fired him, but he needed workers. Would have been better for him if he had been fired, then the Sand People wouldn't have gotten him. You mean he's dead?
He was lost in a Sand People raid we suffered not too long ago. There were prisoners taken, but our rescue parties never found anyone alive. In the end, it just wasn't cost-effective to keep searching. All miners sign a waiver absolving Zerka Corporation of liability in these circumstances.
So your workers are expendable.
Zerka Corporation cares deeply for all of its employees. That's why we've started a bounty program to thin the Sand People numbers. We didn't find his body, so we have to assume he was taken prisoner. Whether he's still alive, I couldn't say. That's all I can tell you. I shouldn't even have said this much. This is all privileged corporate information. I could lose my job.
Uh-huh. Is there some type of reward for saving him?
As I said, all employees have signed waivers absolving Zerka Corporation of any financial liability if this occurs. It is the industry standard. I suppose you could apply for special dispensation from the Zerka Corporation representative kiosk on Coruscant. Business hours only, please.
Special dispensation from the Zerka Corporation representative kiosk on Coruscant. I want to ask about something else. I want to ask about a hunting license.
As I said, we are no longer selling them. There are too many people cavorting about outside the walls as it is.
Why would I need a license anyway?
We use them to ensure that only people judged fit by Zerka Corporation are allowed outside the city. We don't allow casual exploration because of legal concerns. Zerka Corporation takes no responsibility for loss of life on the dunes. It's just so we can keep track of people. No one leaves the city without a Zerka hunting license.
There is no way to get a license.
Well, normally we charge 200 credits, but I could make an exception if you agreed to perform a task for us. It's similar to hunting. The Sand People are becoming a problem. They destroy our sand crawlers and kill our miners. One particular tribe is the worst. It's as if their chieftain has decided to wage war against us. I would like their attacks terminated. Bring me their gaffy sticks as proof. If you agree to do this, I'll give you a hunting license now and pay a bounty for each stick later. I'll give a bonus for the chieftains.
Why pay for the gaffy sticks? Why not their heads?
Which would you rather have dumped on your office floor? Besides, they're ceremonial weapons, unique to each warrior. It's just as good.
Alright. I will agree to do this for you.
Excellent. Now, just so we understand each other, this is an enforceable contract. Zerka Corporation takes this very seriously. Here's your license, and a few directions. We believe one of their enclaves is in the far south of the Dune Sea. You might try following one of our sand crawlers. They're regularly attacked. I wouldn't mind you escorting them.
I'll go get to it then.
Very good. Zerka Corporation looks forward to your future business.
So I probably want to have mission in the party for this part then. Just imagine getting one, then going to the gate. Guard, looks like you can go. You wave your hand. This is not the license you are looking for. Guard, wait a moment. This isn't the right license. You must stay within the confines of the city. Finn Kenobi. Don't even believe a word of what the Zerka Corporation said in there. There is always a peaceful solution to conflict. They are just lazy. Is this about Zerka wanting the Sand People chieftain killed? So, you are the killer that they hired. Just going to walk out there and wipe them out. I'd expect no less from fools. The Sand People aren't animals. I've watched them. And they are intelligent. There must be a way to peacefully stop the attacks. I know it. But no one will try, of course. You can't even leave the city without Zerka approval. And they want the Sand People dead. Zerka said that Sand People attacked first. Intelligent or not, Sand People have killed people. Why would you know any better? Perhaps I'm no expert on diplomatic situations, but I know when there is a lack of due care for the environment and the residents of it. What would you have done? The Sand People, it must have seemed like an invasion. There are no negotiations for territory or resources. I don't think the killing has been justified, but as a conservationalist... Shit, what is that word? Conservationist, I'm hoping someone at least tries to talk this out. Why hasn't anyone tried talking to them? Well, there's a small matter. They don't seem to speak a language that your average translator can understand. Is that their fault? There was even a Jedi here a few years ago that couldn't seem to get through to them. I think that ended in blood, too. I'm not saying it would be easy, but someone has to try. Maybe with a real translation droid, not these old protocol scrap heaps walking around. Who would have a capable droid? They are pretty rare, even on well-stocked worlds, but I'm sure I heard something about unusual droid in the shop here on Tatooine. I'm sure I heard Yuka Laka saying that it could speak a Sand People dialect, although he'd say rest is gold to make a sale. With that droid, maybe you could talk to them. I wouldn't survive. Maybe the desert robes as a disguise someone could get into their enclave. I appreciate the hydrate and the posture check. Alright. Double posture check. Sorry guys, bumping the microphone. Didn't mean to do that. Gotta love when that happens. You get that nice bong. While it's on my mind, guys, I just wanted to take a moment and say I appreciate all you guys participating on the Discord server. There is still the community poll. However, I think I'm about to close that down in the next week. At the moment, we are currently still sitting with Spyro as the current leader of the community poll on which game will be played after I finish Knights of the Old Republic. So, if you guys wish to see the outcome on that change, make sure that you submit your votes inside the Discord server under the polls channel, because Castlevania Advanced Collection is only one vote behind. So, make sure that you go and make that vote. to make that determination. And yeah, I will probably be announcing the winners of, or the winner for that here next Friday on December 15th. I'm also going to be taking the few weeks off away from streaming. I've decided that after the 15th, I will not be streaming again until after the new year. So we will stream next weekend for sure, December 15th. But after that, any of my following scheduled streams are going to be canceled because of the holidays. But I will still be participating in Discord and probably popping in on other people's streams from time to time. So I'll definitely still be around and available for you guys as my community. But yeah, I will not be streaming, unfortunately, for the duration of that those few weeks while Christmas rolls in. So, but yeah, make sure you guys go and do your votes and stuff. Dun dun dun. Nothing serious. I'll be back. No, I just really would like to have an opportunity to focus on my holidays with my kiddo and with my family. So, as I'm sure that you guys can definitely understand, I don't know, the holidays for me, Christmas is my favorite holiday, and it actually has little to do with the gift giving. It has everything to do with the family interactions and the family time. So, not that I love being cold or the snow. Could do without cold or snow, but you know, still all the same, spending time with family is important to me, so I will be doing just that. In any case, we can get back to this. So where would that enclave be that you mentioned? Where would you get the robes to match theirs? I suppose you could take them off of the warrior raiders in the Dune Sea, but there's no way I'd survive anything like that. Plus, you would have to explain why you killed their warriors if you were trying to make peace, but I suppose there is no other way. Or that enclave you mentioned be? It's no secret where they are. The attacks get worse the further southwest of the Dune Sea you go. And people die on both sides. Good to take a break every so often, regardless of why. That is true. I actually have been considering taking a couple of weeks away from streaming anyway, but holiday season just seems like the most appropriate time to do that. Sure, you're going to get RAR posting that. Sure, doing the refresh anyway. Sitting there hitting the refresh button over and over. RAR got in here super fast today. It was kind of impressive, actually. Maybe I'll look into it. Sure, that's what Zerka Corporation keeps saying, and then they just start shooting again. The fighting won't stop until they are all dead. Or until the Zerka leave. The one is as likely as the other with the way things are going. What do I know? Do I? Now I heard my name. You were really quick to get in the stream today. That was all I was saying. Okay, I suppose that the right thing to do would be to try and solve this diplomatically, which means we need to find us that droid. Droid shop on the other side of town. Okay. Easy enough. Ninja reflexes. Super fast. Alright. You must gather your party. Oh my gosh. I hate when they're so slow. Bastila. Where'd you go?
Yes?
Golly, why are you so slow?
Huh?
Yeah. Yeah, it seems likely. Just seems like a likely bet to me that Rar would be doing the updates anyway. Or doing the refresh anyway. What is this? A customer? I don't recognize? Perhaps you bring off-world money to Yukalaka. What do you have available in your shop? You are lucky to have come at this time. I have one droid ready to go. I just took possession of it. An HK-47. It's a fine protocol translator. I think it's been modified. It claims to understand the Sand People dialect and also has some armor mounts. Combat ready, perhaps? Let me ask a few questions about HK-47. Of course, let me just say that every function I've tested has performed perfectly. Those that I could find, anyway. You don't seem to know very much about it. The unit has been a little uncooperative. They get that way when they go too long without a memory wipe.
And if the unit proves even more uncooperative once we purchase it?
You can leave it alone if you find its mannerisms amusing. It might be a little eccentric, but it's stable. Why haven't you wiped its memory? I would have, but I can't seem to access the inner circuits. It's definitely built for security and built to last. At any rate, it claims that it doesn't have access to its own memory core anyway. Could be telling the truth. It's hard to say. I'm interested. Let's talk price. It's a very solid machine, in good shape. I can't let it go for less than 5,000 credits. Could I convince you to lower the price a bit? 4,000, not a credit less. Perhaps I can convince you to go lower? Lower? How low are you expecting me to go? These are difficult times. The data the droid covered was a large one. Come on now. Think of the advertising you'll get from me. People will think I was a fool to sell such a price, and will not. Started too high last time. Let's go for 4,000 credits. Drop the price or I'll see you dead. 4,000 is fair. I'll pay it. You will? I mean, of course you will. Let me just withdraw those credits. Hey, you weren't lying. Oh, thank you very much. Just go on over there and talk to it. I'll deactivate the restraining bolt when you take possession. It's a good purchase, especially if it actually speaks Sand People dialect like it said. Of course, I don't think it was telling me everything. Not many droids are programmed to lie, though. I'm looking for exotics, something called a star map. I deal mostly in swoop parts and droid maintenance. Maybe I heard Jawa mutter something about old things. But I could have misheard. They cover very large areas when they scavenge, but they aren't much right now. Not interested. Goodbye. That's quite alright. You've made me happy with the purchase you've made already. Good luck, and thank you for your shopping in Anchorhead. People in this universe usually assume droids are programmed not to lie. It is... I think it is typically just not in their programming to be liars, unless they were programmed specifically for that.
You have purchased me, Master. I find this a satisfactory arrangement. My restraining bolt will be deactivated when you take possession of me. Am I to accompany you now? Shall I kill something for you?
Travel with me now.
Statement. I will enter into your service now, Master. I am certain you will make adequate use of my primary functions. My gears are practically quivering with anticipation.
Alright. Keep your quivering to yourself. Strictly as a joke not to egg you on, Sarge. No, it's perfectly fine. I really don't mind. Alright, and I think that means that we finally have all the party members. No, oh, nah. Party selection. Okay. And I guess we want mission in the party as well. Right. Stealth. Wow, there's a lot of points for her. Probably some in security as well, I think. feats. Sneak attack. Ooh. Improved critical strike. Melee attacks. Gearhead. +1 skill point to repair, security, and computer use. That would actually be very helpful for her. How to level up creates pretty mediocre characters in this game. I have been trying to avoid doing that. Wisdom. I don't think we really need that point there. But I don't really get a modifier anywhere else. Suppose we can add another point into either Constitution or Dexterity. I think I'm going to go Constitution. Or do I want Dexterity? Let's do Dexterity. Man, she gets a lot of points when she levels up. Some other people are only getting like 2 at a time, but she's getting like a ton. Stealth, computer use. Maybe not. Maybe more on security. And 1 on demolitions. Oh boy. Okay. We got a bit of leveling up to do with this one. Yep. Okay. Awareness and repair, perhaps? Security? Let me go with repair. Droid upgrade class 2. See. Strength of 16 and a dexterity of 14. Anybody know if the droid is good for better... Well, given the stat block that we've got here, it sounds to me like this droid is actually programmed better for melee fighting. Yes, I did notice HK47's morality alignment is set to the dark side. He can only use blasters, pretty much. So why is his strength score higher than his dexterity? That doesn't make sense. HK, not AK? Yeah, if he can only use blasters, I don't understand why his strength score is higher than his dexterity. That's weird. Everyone asks that when they play this game. I'm glad I'm not the only one. It's just, I don't know. I mean, here's a little side tangent. There's a debate in the D&D circles of the world that argue one way or another about min-maxing your characters. And I figure Power probably knows exactly what that means, but for anybody who doesn't know what min-maxing is, it essentially means playing the game in a sense that allows for you to maximize your character's capabilities based off of the stat block that you've got. So you wouldn't make any choices that would essentially contradict what your stat block allows for. So if you roll up your stats and you have a higher strength score than you do a dexterity score, you would typically choose a melee weapon because that is more obviously where you're going to be putting that at. And then you also have to factor in things like class as well. So usually you'll want to put your higher scores on whatever best complements your class. And that is essentially what the idea behind min-maxing is figuring out any possible way that you can make the best use for the character that you've got, regardless of how you want to play them story-wise or or whatever. Your min-maxing is essentially maximizing that character's optimal performance for the role that you've made for it. And that's how a lot of people like to play these games, which is perfectly fair. It's perfectly fine. But there is also a large amount of individuals now who like the idea of not having to play a min-maxed character. And so now there's a lot of argument back and forth about whether or not D&D is meant for min-maxing. It gets dangerous when the DM notices and decides to put someone who's really good at countering that specific build. Yeah. I mean, here's the thing. I might be a different breed of DM or something. I don't know. I've still never killed one of my players. I still never have. I suspect that it will eventually happen, but I've never done anything that would, you know, make it happen. I feel like that's not really my place as the DM. It's not my place as the DM to kill my players. It's my place to give them the narrative and provide them with the freedom to make decisions. And they've been pretty careful about the decisions that they've made. So really, I haven't been provided a reason in which I actually need to kill them. So, you know, as long as everybody's kind of playing smart and with a survival sense, I feel like as long as people are playing with a fair amount of sense, they deserve to be rewarded for their creative thoughts. So there is that. Starts putting in skill checks that someone with that stat would struggle with. I have done that a little bit. Not a lot, not in a deadly sense, but I have put obstacles in front of people that I knew that they were not going to be very good with, and see how they work to get around it all the same. I think that is actually completely fair. I think that's completely valid. Providing a situation in which an individual may not be the best for trying to solve that particular problem. Usually there's somebody in the party who can properly do it, or there's an alternate way around said puzzle. Kind of like with what we've got right now. I can use this protocol droid and try to find a peaceful negotiation. Or I could just march my ass out to the dunes and go and kill all the sand people and call it a day. Which, not gonna lie, sounds a little tempting. A lot of people think of it like a game of cat and mouse. I don't play with the idea or the notion that it is supposed to be the DM versus the players. I believe that it is supposed to be the DM in assistance to the players. Obviously, there's a certain amount of this where it is still my responsibility as a DM to provide the party with the appropriate amount of challenge that they are looking for in the game. But it's really... It would be my place if I wanted to end the game where I could just put something completely impossible in front of the party and just destroy them. But that just doesn't seem like something I could bring myself to do. It just isn't very nice. Okay, where are we putting stuff here? Repair, awareness, probably on awareness and demolitions. Gonna have a long way to go here. Helps to have players that aren't actively antagonistic to the DM while playing. Negativity breeds negativity. This is very true. I mean, we play in a closed group of family, and everybody is in it to have a good time. And pretty aware that even though characters may not click very well, that doesn't damage our relationship as a family unit. So it works out pretty good. Improved power blast. Demolitions and stealth. Make an extra ranged weapon attack during the round. Character suffers -4 to defense while using this feat. I think I want to do this. There we go. Battle droid logic upgrade. Fully experienced with the rigors of combat, the droid is able to self-upgrade its tactical reasoning and maximize its defensive potential. This feat grants +6 to defense and is always active. This feat replaces the tactician logic upgrade. Interesting. That's pretty cool. Some DMs go on power trips, and then players design their characters around fighting that power trip, and it just becomes a cycle. Yeah, I mean, there are definitely... I can definitely say, you know, that there are very strong egotistical DMs that exist. Honestly, in retrospect, I kind of wonder that about my DM a little bit. But that is kind of a... It's kind of a very heavy subject that I don't want to talk about. But nonetheless, you know, I do wonder about that in retrospect. Hey, Iron, how's it going? Welcome in. We're just talking D&D. And playing some Coder. You're at work this evening, aren't you? Don't need to go into that if you don't want to. Yeah, it kind of spirals into a huge, uncomfortable conversation that is just better not to go through on Twitch.
No one leaves Anchorhead without proper
You don't work Fridays. You probably told me that, and I really suck at remembering. And I'm very sorry about that. Well, all the same, glad that you're here. Welcome in. You missed out. We started the stream with some guitar time. I've been kind of working really hard on playing lately, and things are coming together kind of nicely. So we enjoyed some guitar time at the beginning of the session today. I have proper authorization.
Well, let's see it. Come on.
Here's my hunting license.
All right. I'll just scan that and you're off. I'll keep it on file, too. Good luck out there. You'll need it.
HK-47 is my favorite character in this game. Is that right? He does seem pretty cool. Woo! Oh, it's been a minute since we've saved. Let's do that. A lot of people's favorite character. I suppose that we're gonna find out why after the next little bit here. God, this is not fair. I'm getting so sleepy, and we're just barely getting started here.
You're heading out into the desert? You're a hunter, right? You must be if you've been allowed to leave Anchorhead. When you see Tanis, and I know you old boys always stick together, tell him his wife hopes he enjoys the anniversary gift.
Uh-huh. What do you mean by you old boys?
You're just another of his buddies from that hunting club. I know your kind. You all cover for each other, I bet. Well, he can do what he wants. He'll get what he deserves. I bought my own license just so I could see that he did.
Kind? Sound like you're planning to kill him. Anniversary gift. What are you talking about?
Just a little something to remember me by. Something that symbolizes our years together. Something that will blow up in his face. Of course, he'll never understand how appropriate it is. He can't talk his way out of this one. He's not smart enough.
It sounds like DLC is not having a very good time upstairs. I hate the new Discord mobile app updates. Still can't fathom it much. Yeah, that's a whole thing too. The new Discord update on mobile, guys, I'm really not a fan of it, if I'm being honest. I feel like with the update that they made to the Discord mobile app, it's now more difficult to be able to see where your notifications are at, because they've completely separated out like screens for the messaging versus the servers. So it's not very easy to just navigate between the two of them anymore, or just be able to see what else you've got that might require your attention. Yeah, so far not a fan. I've been losing a lot of messages, unfortunately, because of the update, and I'm just like, this is going to be difficult to keep on top of now. Haven't seen much of a difference, maybe because I'm using the Nitro theme change option. I mean, well, the thing is, it's not like hugely different, and I suppose that if you are just in servers anyway, it probably wouldn't seem too different, but if you're trying to get to your messages, Your direct messages now are under a different window than they were before. Or like you have to actually like go to the bottom. So when you receive a message now, you have to go to the very bottom of the application and tap messages. So yeah, it's just kind of a pain in the ass. Not enjoying it much, if I'm being honest. Alright, what if he has a message for you?
Oh, I'll be long gone soon enough. The next shuttle to anywhere, really. I've had it with cleaning up his messes, repairing his droids. If he lives, he can try and get by on his own. I doubt he'll last long with no one to listen to his lies.
You sound like you're planning to kill him.
Oh, I'm through planning. I just left him a little mess that he has to take care of. If he's smart, he'll be just fine. But he's not smart.
Right. I have to go.
I'm sure you do. Like I said, when you see him, tell him his wife Marlena says hello.
Direct message is still at the top for you. Interesting. That is very interesting. I mean, I have the basic for Nitro, but yeah, everything's changed for me. Okay, what were we supposed to do with that? Discord, what's that? Oh, he knows what Discord is. He is actually in the server. But thank you for posting the link, Power. Appreciate it. What have you been up to this last couple of weeks, Iron? So we're gonna check out what's out here.
Yes?
All these little interesting things in the sand. This actually does a pretty good job of looking impressively large. Who is that? Feels like Uncharted 3 vibes. A little bit.
Anyone out there? Could you help? I seem to be, doomed.
Tannis.
Hey there, thanks for stopping. I appreciate it. I've been stuck without water for hours. Wasn't looking good. I don't remember you from Faz's Club. You new to Anchorhead? Could you maybe help me get out of here?
Being lazy, playing Pokemon Scarlet. Oh, really? He's a bit doomed. How's the Pokemon Scarlet treating you? I have heard a lot of mixed things about these Scarlet and Violet games. I used Discord enough that I felt like it was worth Nitro to support them, and every so often I needed to send a big file via Discord. Yeah, I feel that. Sometimes I wish that I was paying for the higher subscription one, but I don't always need that. I just want access to my emotes. You're Tannis, right? Your wife says hello.
I'll bet she does. She's decided I finally worn out my welcome and she's fixed my droids to do her dirty work.
Commentary. One would hope the female is better at repairs than Yukalaka. I still would like to crush his neck, Master.
I triggered some sort of trap she programmed. She probably figured I wouldn't be smart enough to get out. Yeah, she was right.
What do you want me to do?
The wife put a kink in my battle droids. They're in some sort of discharge loop. And if I move from this spot, they're threatening to blow up. She knew I wouldn't know how to fix them. Could you try to do some repairs? They don't care if you move. It's just me who's stuck.
Commentary. I say we blast the meat bag and save you the trouble, Master.
What's with all the droids lately? My wife get to you too?
Negative. I just don't like organic meat bags. Except for the Master, of course.
I'd, really appreciate a bit of help. Please?
Alright, I'll try and help you out. Hold on.
Just access each droid's repair interface. You'll have to do some tinkering, but be careful. One explosion I can survive. Any more than one and I'm dead. Oh, and ignore the message Marlena left in there. No way do I deserve this, I swear.
I guess we should probably save before we start working around these, huh? Sandstorm. Darude, and he's doomed in the dunes. Save!
Acknowledgement.
Yeah?
Access system status and repair functions. Automatic repair. Let's see, how many repair parts do I have? 46. Exit. I'm guessing that message that it has is purely to get your interest enough to poke in it and cause an explosion. Is this Star Wars or is this Dune? It is a little bit of both. I know one of the loading screen tips for KOTOR 2 says save often and in different slots. Yeah, we probably should start using the other slots again. Just try the diagnostics mode to try manual repair. Power cell drain must not exceed total. Different motivators measure the same total energy pool as either 300 small pulses or 180 large pulses. Upper motivator has used 100 small pulses. How many large pulses left in the remaining fraction? Who? What? Yay! I love math. Okay, King, go nuts. I'm too tired. Like, I'm about ready to just back out and just use the other 5 repair parts. But if you want to try and solve it, be my guest. It's 3 large for every 5 small. Yeah. I think I get what it's trying to say here. $140? Yeah, that's what I was coming up on as well. Subtract the 100 from 300. Get 200 multiplied by 3/5. 140, my lord. Wait, yeah. Okay, we'll allocate 140 large pulses. Applying changes, analyzing critical system error. Primary motivators overloading. Slime ball must die. Subscript executing. Isolating unit to minimize damage. Ouch. It was not 140. 120, by the way. Max was 180 large or 300 small. So 200. Yeah, should have been 120. Powers math checked out. Misread? That's fine. He's fine. The dude's fine.
That was unpleasant. Thanks for your help. I'd have been a goner. Hey, and the old bat thought I was dead. You never asked me for anything, but I consider my life worth something. Please, take this. I insist.
Ooh. Oh, fine. Good luck.
Thanks again. I doubt any of those uptight hunters would have helped, and I doubt the wife is coming back. I'm heading back to the shop. I hope she left the manuals for these things behind. Ungrateful little...
Wow, we got experience points, and some 400 credits as well.
Statement. HK-47 is ready to serve, Master.
I'd like to know more about your functionality.
Statement. I know some elements of my functionality, Master, but not all.
Thought you said that removing a restraining bolt would restore your memory.
Qualification. I suspected that it might, Master, but without memory, I had no way of knowing whether or not I knew that was true.
So you lied to me.
Qualification. Not so much, Master. I spoke out of ignorance. I assumed the Athorian was responsible for my memory loss. That does not mean I am not a fully loyal droid willing to serve its master. Right, Master?
Tell me what you can, then.
Observation. I am sure you are aware of the majority of my skills, Master. I can handle various sorts of heavy weaponry with ease.
He won't go to bed.
Are well above those of your average meatbag, as are my sensor
Average meatbag.
An assassin, if you would.
An assassin.
Caution, shh, Master. Such a function in a droid is highly illegal.
I won't tell anyone.
Commentary. Good, for I would truly hate to be turned into spare scrap, Master.
He's had his gummy,
That would be a waste
Keo.
of my genius engineering. Answer. My assassination functions are currently non-functional, having been deactivated by the meatbag Yukalaka on Tatooine. Were they functional, you as my master would be able to specify a target, and I would operate independently to the best of my ability to terminate it.
Is there any way to reactivate that function?
Answer. Not that I know of, Master. I still possess all my normal combat and stealth abilities, however.
Is there any way to repair you?
Answer. Some of my motor functions can be safely repaired, Master, but anything in relation to my memory core is extremely sensitive. I have safeguards installed to protect that core that I cannot deactivate. It is not impossible that other, lesser memory functions could be restored, however.
So I can restore your memory.
Answer. You may attempt to restore portions of my deleted memory, Master, but some skill at repair is required. The deeper functions of my core memory, however, would still be unadvisable to tamper with. Conjecture. It is possible that some external stimulus might result in the memory core being reactivated, but I am unaware of any program existence to do so.
How can I go about restoring part of your memory?
Answer. Simply tell me that you wish to make the attempt, Master, and I will attempt to walk you through it. Please do be careful.
Interesting. That'll be all.
As you
We'll play around with that in a minute. Keo, I'm assuming you'd like some assistance with getting that little bugger to bed. Yeah, I can come upstairs for just a few minutes and see if we can get him put down. Because, yeah, it's past his bedtime. Mother bugger. Yeah. All right. Yeah, I'm gonna step away for just a few minutes, guys. See if I can't help getting DLC put to bed for the evening. So I will be right back. We'll pick this back up and see what we can do. Make some progress towards the encampment for the Sand People. So please don't go anywhere. I'll be back in just a few minutes. In the meantime, enjoy the clip reel. Yeah, the map being a remix from the N64 game is pretty neat, that's for sure. Fox lands. Good job, Fox. Fox. Good job, Fox. Not the Beatles! Beatles! Ah! This is... Okay, that works. We're just gonna slingshot this dude. Oh, shoot. Okay. That's not cool, bro. Give it back. That was expensive. Give it back. You're a jerk. Alright, Mario. Now I'm going to give you a beating you'll never... What? Wait! Where are you going? Wait! Mario, wait up! Come back here, you chicken! Shoot! Answer to me.
I promise that you can. Oh, hey, never mind, you can't.
You were saying?
I love you! How long did it take for you to think of that?
Yeah, I did better than you.
Shut up. No, you gotta jump now.
That bot can now rescue Gaten Pache, bastardo. Uh-oh. Requiescat in Pache. That's what it... Oh my shit! I didn't realize there was up there.
You what?
Nice. That's a nice little shortcut. Right. There's a reason I drew an X over that one. Double attack. Yeah.
Poor Lon.
No trouble at all.
No, I knew that we weren't close enough to be that worried about it, so.
Okay.
Because usually they gotta be like, in order for it to be a problem.
How's that?
Yeah, you saw.
No? Yeah? No, I think I missed it.
No do-overs.
I'm pretty sure I missed it.
No do-overs.
Can you show again?
No.
Party pooper.
Oh, it's still in here? Are you serious? Don't mind me, I'm just gonna take my knife back. All that for 162. Okay. 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 This is fine. Hey, listen. I ain't nobody's messenger boy, alright? I'm a delivery boy. Bring the core and apple cores. Yeah?
I knew it! I knew it was you!
Okay, do the most spastic thing you're gonna do.
No!
Do it. Just spaz out
I can't
right now.
do it now!
Spaz out right now.
You think I have control over it?
Yeah, just
No.
get it all out right
well,
now.
I'm not doing it.
Okay. So, as I understand it, I'm gonna go in there, I'm gonna do this fight, and you're gonna be completely chill the whole way through, right? She makes no promises.
Oh, oops.
Get in there in 24 seconds, then we should be okay.
Oh, Mellor makes a point. You can drop into the lava and not lose the shield when you get the scrub.
Okay.
So drop off the left side.
Sargy power! And do I channel that through my hair? I feel like that is something I channel through my hair. Thank you so much for waiting, guys. We got DLC put down to bed, so he's all set, ready to sleep for the evening. So honestly, I don't feel like I'm too far behind him. I'm tired. Small group of sand people ambush you. Oh shit. Wait, can we talk about this first? Must it end in violence? Okay, I guess it must end in violence. Ouch. Well, I'm dead. A holy warrior. Yep, 2 party members are down. All 3 party members are down. That sucks. Oh yeah, adult after hours. Is that what this is for? Huh.
Anyone out there?
Didn't, oh. Shit, yeah. Okay. I guess we'll need to do this part again. So I'm just gonna do this the same as it was last time, because I'm assuming that it doesn't use all the same parts every time. And 120. Yep, returning to normal. Alright, so yes. Looked like
Sure.
Power had the right math on it.
That was unpleasant.
That'll be fine.
Thanks.
Like,
I'm at
oh yeah, let's save again. We didn't really do a lot to upgrade him, now did we? Should probably do something about that. Flamethrower? That's pretty cool. And a shield disruptor. On hit, horror, 100% for 3 seconds. Targets 7th level and up, ignore horror effect. What does horror do? Does it make them run? Using this item consumes 1 charge. This item is automatically discarded after all available charges are consumed. Oh, is that going to be the case for everything here? Energy shields. Stuns them. Okay. Awareness of +2. Bonus feat, weapon, focus, blaster, pistol. Battle droids come factory ready for combat, but it is still wise to invest in targeting and computer upgrades to optimize performance at range. Cost rises with quality as always. Computer probe, skills, computer use +2. Sure, why not?
Yeah?
Sure.
Okay, let's try this again. I think I'm gonna take mission out of the party for the time being. Let me switch her out for Bastila, I think. Either that or Canderous. Let's put Canderous back in. Shit. Okay. All right, getting ambushed again. Three-quarter of the pulses left also worked, by the way. That was a little harder. Oh, yeah, well, I mean, we did make it work out, so it was fine. Holy Warrior. Oh, right. Energy resistance, night speed.
Ready.
Okay, well that worked out better. Alright, and do they have anything on them? Just this corpse out here, huh? I mean, do we need to check out that crawler? Suppose we could. You did the math in your head. Yeah, sometimes I'm not entirely good at doing things like fractions or the such in my mind. Math was never a strong suit for me, unfortunately. Which is kind of unfortunate because things like physics are actually intriguing to me, but the problem is I lack the skill to do well with math. I just, I don't think of things very analytically sometimes. So. We're gonna get jumped again. Small group of sand people ambush you. We will not survive this one. Nope. don't even know if it's in my best interest to run. Probably just reload. Yeah. Make sure to pick up the stuff on the enemy. I know, but it wasn't really allowing me to interact with the corpses on the ground. Yeah, the bodies are already gone. And it wasn't allowing for me to interact with them either. Can these be used? Vast expanse of desert stretches before you with no markers or any indication of life. Huh. It would be a death trap for anyone wandering aimlessly.
Yeah?
Ready.
Sure.
Negative to droids is that Force Heal can't heal them. Yeah, it's a little obnoxious, but what can you do? Yeah, it's kind of feeling like we're gonna not really have much of a choice but to wander out and fight. I mean, it might be worth it to check out that sandcrawler then. We're gonna have to just be out here anyway.
You should speak with the captain. He's the only officer we've got left.
Who are you? Ah, it doesn't matter. Can you handle a blaster? It may attack again at any second. I doubt we could hold out on our own against another wave of them.
I'd assume this was done by sand people.
You would be right. Came out of nowhere. Wait, damn it. Here they come again. How did it do that?
Sand people warriors. Just two of them? More of them? Youch. Well, they killed the captain. Jeez. They just keep coming. And they don't stop coming, and they don't stop coming. You need something off the bodies of the sand people, though I don't know if you have to ask someone why or approach their base to find out why. Force speed is really good, especially at max level. Level 2 adds an extra attack per round, and level 3 adds 2 attacks per round. You're an all-star, get your game on, and play. Hydrate and posture check. I think we can handle that. Appreciate it. Yeah, if it's just gonna keep sending wave after wave of sand people at me, I don't know that we're gonna make it through this, because, I mean, I'm already down to no life point, or no hit points. Yeah, I'm kind of convinced that this is not the way. Remember avoiding approaching the sand crawler. So if we're avoiding the sand crawler, good night, enjoy the rest of your stream, and thanks for the music. Not a problem. Thank you so much, Randwolf, for hanging out with us tonight. Get yourself some good rest, and we'll see you around. And thank you so much for supporting the music project, Absinthe. That means a lot to me. Lovely. Oh, joy. And dead again. Sorry for that little detour, everybody. We'll try to get back into this. You died, exactly. Now we got the set death command figured out. We'll just jump back into this. Thanks for the hydrate. Guys doing a great job of making sure that I'm getting my water today. So admittedly, I was not very good about my water consumption earlier today. So, water. Absorption is important, Grasshopper. Okay, so it kind of looks like approaching any of the things, like any of these wreckages out here, seem to be what ultimately set off an invasion. Now set it to whatever you entered instead of adding to it. No? Don't think so. It's increasing. Well, we didn't change anything about the other death command, just the set death. Yeah, we added death set. Damn it. Just making sure. No worries. Candrace, could you maybe not be useless?
Yes?
Well, it wasn't glamorous, but we got it. So difficulty setting and options if you need it. I usually play on the easiest one because I don't like too much challenge. I don't remember seeing a challenge option. Gameplay? Oh yeah, we are on normal difficulty. It's just weird because in some instances this is really not too difficult to play, but then there's some other things where it just becomes more difficult than it ought to be. So I suppose the more of these bastards we have to kill, the better off we'll be for it. But just annoying all the same. Those things don't look friendly either, if I'm being completely honest. And I'm sitting here trying to figure out how on earth we were supposed to do this before we went to Kashyyyk. I don't mind some periodic challenge, but I don't like getting wasted every few minutes. That's so far been my biggest complaint with this game, I think. Yeah, enemy levels in this game scale based off of your level. Kind of makes it difficult to feel like you're really making a lot of progress in some ways with that. Which is kind of unfortunate, but...
What? Yes?
Okay, I'm gonna save this again. It's a little uneven with how it scales. There's some levels where some areas are way harder than other areas temporarily. That does seem kind of strange. Oh, please. Sand People Warriors. Thing is that when I kill them, I don't get any I don't seem to be getting any robes or anything off of them. Refuse pile. Oh shit. They are still hot on my tail. I don't think I'm gonna be able to go through here without the party. Nope. Oh. Oh, damn it. Yeah, it's like just getting jumped all the time. Oh. Thank you, babe. Bringing down some cider for me. She made some homemade cider the other day, which is pretty yummy. Rare says Kyo! Cider! Josephine, go away. Tea kettle and cool mug that changes when exposed to heat. That is pretty cool. You seriously puppy garden my dudes? That's rude. Yeah, let's load. I am a little confused because it has not provided me the opportunity to actually loot any of the bodies. So, ow, that is really hot. I actually have no idea what to do. It's like short of just going in with the attempt to kill everything. I really am kind of clueless here. Because it's like, we can wander around in the desert. If we wander around out here, we will constantly be jumped by sand people and forced to do combat over and over and over again. If we approach the sand crawler, they will come in waves so much so I will not be able to win. And just trying to get around to their base in the back also just doesn't work. Don't go near objects in the desert, they won't jump you. I've been trying to avoid those obstacles. I mean, we were here. This is exactly where we were when we got attacked last. And we're not really near any of those objects. So I just don't seem to understand what rule it wants to be following here. Oh dear. Interesting. This is actually... seems like it's going to be an easier encounter. Oh, shit. Canderous, moron. Random encounters are beatable. If you happen to stumble into an encounter with any of the other enemies, however, you're dead, because they'll just keep coming and coming and coming. That's ridiculous. Yeah, this just is not very clear. If you go further up to where the Sandcrawler is, you'll likely be ambushed by a group of 3 or 4 sand people. This ambush is absolutely vital because it'll allow you to, when they're dead, grab one of their sand people outfits so you can gain access to the camp basically undetected. Make sure to search their bodies for these clothes, since you'll be fighting primarily sand people here. You who do battle with melee weapons called gaffy sticks, it is likely you'll want 3 Jedi, you, Bastila, and Juani, in your party. Nothing beats 3 melee lightsaber fights against sand people. They barely stand a chance against you. These attacks will happen 3 times randomly as you walk the desert. The point of these attacks is to provide you with 3 sets of these sand people clothes so that your party can sneak on through to their city. Find a few people near the broken down Sandcrawler who work for the Zerka Corporation. Sandcrawler was looted, completely destroyed. Other than that, when the waves of attacks stop, we can move on to more important matters. Interesting. It's weird that they aren't dropping clothes. A little bit. I mean, this isn't like a Switch problem, is it? Other people are saying that you don't get them from the robes of the small groups attacking you, or from the ambushes. You have to get them from the larger groups. Huh. All right. Guess we'll just keep trying.
here. Your wish?
What?
What can I do? How can I help? Then I...
Okay. Let's try this again.
Who are you?
Assume from this is from Sand People.
Wait, damn it! Here they come again. How did it?
Okay.
What can I do? Yes?
And another wave.
What?
All right.
What?
I'm here. Yes?
Yes?
No. Didn't seem to get any amount of gear for that.
Your wish?
That's kind of really annoying.
What?
Thanks for your help. I don't think we'll try holding this position for much longer. We're not soldiers. Did the company send you? It's about time they drove these animals out.
We agreed to help stop Sand People attacks.
Well, you've got a lot of work ahead of you. Do you know about that enclave in the south? Don't even try to go near it. They've taken all the Zerka weapons that were supposed to protect our sandcrawlers. That place is a fortress, a death trap. You'll have to find some way to sneak into the place. That is not my job.
Do you know anything about Sand People?
Just that they attack everything on sight. Well, I suppose they don't attack each other, but any outsider's as good as dead. The company tried to arm us.
Dude, what's wrong with your eyes?
Remote self-powered turrets on the mining route, but that just made things worse. We're not soldiers. They still kill us and then take our weapons off our corpses. They even had the Jawas disable the turrets and set them around their enclave. It's like a fortress now. I don't know how you're going to break through all of that. Me, I'd sneak in. Well, actually, I'd just get back to Anchorhead.
Sand People are using turrets?
They use whatever they scavenge. They seem to hate our technology, but they love to turn it against us. That goes for blasters and turrets too, I guess. It's not like you need to be a genius to operate them. They probably don't even bother with special settings. They just watch for people approaching and switch them on.
I have other questions about the desert.
I don't have time for this sort of thing. I'm through with the desert. You can take your sand people, crate dragons, and crazy hunters.
All right.
Yeah, so do we. There's no way we're repairing this thing while getting attacked over and over. The desert can have it. Ah, the Jawas will salvage it eventually anyway. Then we can buy it back and start over. Makes sense to me.
All right. Like, really, no options here at all. To try and gain anything off of these bodies. But I wonder, with the Jedi here, if we are able to take on those other clusters that keep coming through. Probably. Even though they walkthrough said that we do have to fight in order to get the, yeah, it says that we need to fight the sand people that are standing outside of the Enclave, so I suppose we can give it a shot. I say, let's try and take out as many of these other things as we possibly can. It's not for 500 experience each. Not bad. Candace doesn't get stuff like force speed, anything restricted by armor that he's wearing. I'd expect him to wear. Yeah, that is true. Desert Raid Skull Plate. Alright, I am assuming we'll get jumped as soon as we examine this. There we are. Oh.
Let's make this.
And Basilisk's dead. Yeah, this seems to be going over a lot better. Playing with the Jedi out here.
I'm here.
This can be sold to the hunting lodge if you want a little bit of credits. It's not a bad idea. It'd stand to have some extra credits.
What is it?
Sure.
Okay, and there was... So where did it go? That's interesting. I literally have no idea where that last one went. They get around surprisingly quickly.
So
You'll need HK once you can get access to their base if you want to go light side, but again, probably wait until you have the outfits. Yeah, I think we're probably going to need to wait for sure.
Yes.
All right.
Sure.
Yes.
Oh. There we go. Found us an outfit, I think. Right. Gaffing sticks. I wonder how many of these gaffy sticks we can take. Do you think that RE1 remake is worth 100%? Well, I didn't go 100% on the first Resident Evil game, but I sure enjoyed it. That seems more like a possible Scorns question. I have no experience with the original compared to the remake version. What do you think, Scorns? Want to take a crack at answering that question? You have been summoned. We were discussing Resident Evil. Alright, I'm assuming that the droid cannot be put into clothing. Yeah, no.
Yes?
Let's disable the mines. I know we should probably pick them up, but,
Didn't work.
skill too low.
Didn't work.
I'm here.
Ready.
Huh. HK doesn't seem to have a problem. Sand People territory. Let's get healed. Probably save. Oh, whoops. Yeah, we'll do an extra save here. Yeah, remake of a Resident Evil 1. Worth it. I would definitely say it is, though there's some trophies in the base game for remake that you'll have to get adjusted, including invisible mode, knife only, etc. It's doable to 100%. Since I'm only halfway through 100% myself, actually, since I 100% all the original Resident Evils on PlayStation 1. Did 4, Code Veronica 0, and its spin-offs on PS2, so I say go for it. That is a lot of work. Sounds like a lot of work. How's it going, the Convol? How you doing this evening? Bet. Save. We got the save, no worries. All these bodies around. Definitely a trap. They're just gonna let me walk in here? Alright. But all Resident Evil 4 OG game on PC, Xbox 360, PS2, PS3, PS4, and GameCube, and Wii. 100%. Really? You love RE4 that much? That's awesome. The Sand People Warriors obviously recognized you and is astounded that you are here. Your disguise may have allowed you to pass the turrets outside, but it's ineffective at close range.
Interjection. One moment. I believe I understood that, Master. It may not have been his intention, but he did actually communicate something.
Never mind that. Yeah, ready to fight. Quickly tell him that we are not a threat.
Translation.
Helpful.
Result. I believe I have succeeded in confusing him, Master. We have shown an interest not common among outsiders.
Uh-huh. Apologize for being here. Say we want peace.
Translation.
Can't 100% on 6 because of the PvP.
He is expressing disbelief, as am I, but his duty requires that he report to his chieftain. Extrapolation. It would seem that we are at least worthy of curiosity for the moment. I would much rather this get bloody, Master, but it is your call.
I'd rather not get bloody here. Though you can't seem to understand him, the Sand People Chieftain's tone is obvious. He clearly despises all outsiders.
Translation. I can translate with some guarantee of accuracy that he is demanding to know why he should let us survive this encounter, Master.
I want a peaceful solution.
Translation.
100% RE6 twice actually, but it's easy if you have a co-op partner. You need to do that before the servers are taken down.
Your kind have tainted this land with machines and uncaring, ignorant feet.
Seems like an outstanding sand guy.
Proof of good faith. We must make a contribution to his people that shows we are not a threat. Shall I blast him now, Master?
Ask what it is that he wants.
Translation. Translation. He plans to move his people farther from Anchorhead, but they need to build up stores of water first. He says you must aid him. Translation. He wants moisture evaporators from the Zerka. If you deliver them, he will order that his people reduce their attacks on miners.
Tell him we will get his evaporators. Will he also tell us about any captives he has?
Translation. Translation. He says you will get no more answers until you have proven you are an ally of the Sand People.
Tell him we will get his evaporators.
Translation. Translation. He does not believe you, Master. We will only be allowed to re-enter the Enclave when we have the evaporators with us. Translation. We are to be escorted outside. He will wait, but he doesn't believe we are coming back.
Rahr might be onto something. He might just be an upstanding guy after all. Let's go and... Oh, okay.
It's like I have ESPN or something.
Where'd the Jedi robes go? Clothing. What the hell? Moist.
Master?
What?
Container is empty. More corpses. Suppose we could be moving ourselves right along a little bit more quickly. We'll just pretend that he doesn't care where you got the Sand People robes to infiltrate them. We are not discussing that. That is not open for discussion. Hey, what they did to the RE3 remake. Yeah, I've heard from a lot of loyal fans to the remake or to the Resident Evil series that 3 is really awful. Personally, I'll probably still be playing that version because I do have it. And while I am aware that it doesn't tell nearly as much of the story as the original game does, I do have access to both. I probably will play 3 for... I will probably do 3 live for everybody, if I'm honest. The 3 remake. Be under 3 hours easily. Nice. I probably will have a little bit of a more difficult time with it because I'm not very well versed in Resident Evil titles. Yeah, strictly speaking, the only ones that I've done so far are 5 and the first one, and 2 remake all the way through. And that's been about it. Rusty as hell. Alright, we're back in Anchorhead. Yeah, it's, yeah, I so much as indicate a interest in playing more Resident Evil on stream, and Scorns just doesn't know how to handle that. You'll do fine. I imagine I probably will. I've played plenty of shooters before, so I'll probably do okay, but, but I don't know how near into the future that's going to be. At the moment, we do have a poll open in the Discord server to decide on our next game after Knights of the Old Republic, which I will be closing next Friday, as a reminder to everybody. And that said, the current winner for that poll right now, or the one that's currently in the lead, is Spyro Reignited, by a margin of just 1 vote. So, thanks for posting that again for me, Scorns.
Greetings again from the offices of Zerka Corporation. Is this about bounties or something else?
I have Gaffy Sticks to redeem bounties.
I see that, but do you have the all-important chieftains, Gaffy? That was what you agreed to get for us.
Just the regular ones for now.
Then I'll take those off your hands, but the real prize is still out there.
I want to ask about our agreement.
Yes, we're still waiting for you to return with the Sand People Chieftain's Gaffy Stick. I'll reward you well when you do. We don't have any new information on the subject. It's still possible that they have an enclave in the far south of the Dune Sea. And I would remind you that you did agree to do this task for Zerka Corporation. We expect completion in a timely manner.
There may be a non-violent solution to this.
I should remind you that you were not retained as a diplomatic representative. You were a hunter. and should go after your prey as we agreed. You are not authorized to do anything other than deliver what was promised. Do so, and don't talk of this foolishness again.
Rude. Let's go back to my first questions.
Very well, though I do have...
Never mind. Well, at least we got some money. I've actually heard from people that the RE3 remake was not terrible. I don't know if it was just the streamer I watched. I've heard that RE4 remake earned its spot in the Game of the Year nominees. Yes, it did. As a matter of fact. Talk to the guy behind the counter. Yeah, I was just getting there. So here's what I understand about RE3 and its remake. I am under the impression that there's almost about a third of RE3 that didn't make it into the remake for whatever reason. There was actually a lot of content cut. So that's what a lot of people have a lot of problem with the 3 remake. That's, I mean, that, I could understand how that'd be very upsetting. But for somebody who's never played Resident Evil 3, original or remake, it would be hard to say whether or not I think 3 is a good game, or 3 remake is a good game until after I play it. But it would be, I do intend to eventually play both of them. As I've mentioned before, you know, I've got DLC in the house, and he is only 3.5. I can't in my right mind be playing Resident Evil with him around. It's just not something that I can do at this time. So I have every intention of playing the Resident Evil games, but it might be a while. You have about RE3 remake, you only have about 35% of the OG size. 35%? So you only get like, that's only about a third. 4.5 hours isn't much more than 3. You again? You want to buy something? If not, go bother other officers. What do you have available for purchase? Was there anything specific you're looking for? You seem to be looking for unique things. Do you have any moisture evaporators? I may, but that is not something I usually sell to spacers. You don't look like a moisture farmer. What do you want them for? That's not really any of your concern, is it? No, I suppose not. It wouldn't have mattered. Well, let me tell you what I have then. Well, I have 2 of the finest evaporators the Zerka Corporation produces. Of course, they only produce 1 model right now. The price is 400 credits for the pair. I won't break them up. They function best when linked together. You'll be persuaded to lower the price? I don't think that's very likely. I have to cover my costs, you know. Zerka's costs, not yours. Who cares about their money? I can't do it. I just can't. I'll have to come up with the money. You want to lower the price. Of course, I want to lower the price, but Zerka regulations. Who cares about those, right? I'll lower the price to 200 credits. That is, don't even ask me again. 200 for the moisture evaporator sounds fine to me. I assume you'll be able to handle the it's a pleasure doing business with you. Come again. And it doesn't look like that actually gave me any negative points for doing that either, so. Cool. Flash him, Sarge. RE3 Remake had a lot of content being missed from the original RE3 game on PS1. The only difference is that the remake of 3 is more refined of a gameplay perspective, unfortunately. 2 publishers who did RE3 Remake had no compassion to make it as memorable. To have one who did 2 and 4 Remake were loyal and faithful to the original source of 2 and 4. 3 Remake isn't bad, it's just not innovative in accessibility and was meant to be short as the original 3 on PlayStation 1. Maybe it's my GameCube familiarity, but just over 8 hours doesn't seem like that long of a game. Usually they're not. 8 hours generally is not a very long game. But you know, in some ways it's almost better to have shorter games, because sometimes I get a little overwhelmed by how much there is to do in games. And that can be a little difficult sometimes. So I'm kind of appreciative of games that don't require quite so much of me. Most modern games are 2 to 3 hour experiences. Depends on what games you're playing. Not mine. And when I pick up a game, it's like Elden Ring, where I'm going to be doing it for probably at least 100 plus hours. I mean, the games I played this year, I picked up Jedi Survivor, although I'm only just barely getting around to playing Jedi Survivor. I'm already at least, I think, about 25 hours into that one, and that's on the shorter end. Played Tears of the Kingdom for well over 120 hours, I think. No, 90. It was only 90 hours for that one. And I played all of the Pixel Remaster Final Fantasy games, which took pretty much half of my year. So, I mean, and none of those I did in under 20 hours, really. Jedi Survivor had disaster launch on all platforms, but especially PC. Here's the thing, Jedi Survivor has a really great story to it. I am enjoying playing the game, but even still, after all of these months, it still has problems. It doesn't crash nearly as badly as it did before, but there are still moments of, you know, screen tear. It does not handle the 60 frames per second very well on PlayStation 5, which is kind of surprising.
Extrapolation. This guard doesn't appear honored to have the job of greeting us.
Tell him we have the moisture converters.
Translation.
Took a while for them to fix it. Yeah, partially fix. Exactly.
He will take us before the chieftain, as he was instructed to do.
This might be drinkable now. If you can read anything of the Sand People Chieftain's emotions, it seems that he is surprised you have returned.
Translation. He did not expect us to return, Master. He wonders if we have brought the moisture evaporators.
Tell him we have his evaporators.
Translation. Translation. He does not trust you, Master, but you have done more than any other outsider. They will not attack, and he grants you his chieftain's Gaffy as reward.
Wow.
Translation. The attacks will be reduced, and he will allow you to explore this enclave, but be warned that any lack of respect will result in death.
I have a few more questions for him.
Protocol. If you truly want this sadly peaceful arrangement to continue, be careful of what you ask.
Ask about captives.
Clarification. We must be more specific, Master. They capture many organics.
Ask if he knows about the Jawas Easy has told us about.
Translation. Translation. He says that the captive Jawas are slaves and that they have lived past their usefulness. You may take them if you wish.
Let's ask if he knows Mission's brother, Griff.
Translation. Translation. He says that by his very presence, this Griff defiles their home and land. He is without any semblance of usefulness to them. Extrapolation. I would assume we are free to take him. It is doubtful they will even waste the effort to kill him. Perhaps we can do it, Master.
Tell him farewell for now. I have no further use for him killing.
Translation.
I think Jedi Survivor being in the Game of the Year running at the Game Awards goes to show it was more about marketing than actually awarding excellence, especially in a year where so many amazing games came out. Yeah, it's kind of one of the unfortunate things. I really think that Survivor had a lot of potential, And I mean, it really does have a lot of potential, but it's just a really big shame that it still has so many problems with it. And the thing is that it's really not as much of any more of a demanding game than a lot of other hits that have been out on the PlayStation 5. So to see it still suffering in the way that it is just kind of awful. Fallen Order was excellent. It's just a shame Survivor didn't sell well. The PC port and launch early nearly ruined the expectations of the gamers. And I loved Fallen Order because it was new, dynamic, and experimented game that the Star Wars franchise needed. The Dark Souls-styled combat with uncharted platforming mechanics worked wonders. Maybe Jedi Survivor, I'll pick it up on a sale, but for what it's worth, Respawn should have done more, or should have had more time polishing it. Should have spent more time polishing it. Yes, I agree with that. Did see Pikmin 4 got an award for it. Immediately reminded me of you, how much you enjoyed, so I'm glad it did get something. Yeah, I actually thought the same thing when I saw Pikmin 4 received an award. I was like, yeah, but that'll make Power very happy. The factor it proved it was about marketing is that they dedicated like 5 minutes of the 2.5-hour event to awards, and the rest of the time to trailers and promotional content. I mean, I am kind of about that though. The whole, in my opinion, one of the biggest reasons to watch the Game Awards has a lot to do with those the premieres, the trailers, getting people excited about more stuff. I mean, yeah, of course it's about marketing, and that's fine. I don't mind. That's just kind of the thing, is that in order to keep everybody kind of excited, you need to have different intervals within the year in which to get people excited. And if that happens to be E3 events and Game of the Years, if we get that 2 times a year, I'm good with it. Like I made a whole ass evening out of the night last night. I came home from work. I allowed DLC some time to, watch what he wanted to watch. And then we sat down and we watched the Game Awards pretty much start to finish. And, it was fun. I really enjoyed myself watching the entire event, so I was glad to see that. Yeah, though I think it was pretty far ahead for just about everything in the category except maybe Fire Emblem Engage. And I like Pikmin better than Fire Emblem. That's fair enough. Okay, so we have the diplomatic solution. He even gave us the gaffing stick. I can't believe he gave us the gaffing stick. Oh, shit. Sand people begin to ready their weapons. They were looking for an excuse to attack, and you're rifling through the position as good as any. Damn it. How far back does that set us? That is unfortunate. Ah, damn. It's a little ways out. Alright. Several rapid fire will give 4 awards in about 30 seconds instead of dedicating time to each award was kind of frustrating. Not often a game punishes you for looting everything, eh? Sometimes. I mean, and there have even been times in this game where I've been a little surprised that people have let me loot their things. There's the Make Bigger remake with the best girl, Rebecca Chambers. Yeah, I haven't finished Zero. I wouldn't mind playing it through. In fact, Kyo and I were in the middle of playing that one a while ago. And then I don't remember for what reason we ended up putting it down. And then DLC got to be a bit older, and we were like, you know what, it's probably not going to work out. Alright, here we go. A new game with her as the main character. That would be interesting.
Translate.
Okay. Do not look at their stuff. They get very angry if you look at their stuff. Give Ashley from RE4 a gun in mercenary mode. Yep, I have not played 4, so I don't know much about Ashley. Sand People Warrior. Wood Slat Door. Seems your presence here is barely tolerated even. Shoot. You're not the ghostly giants that hold us trapped. The people of Sand, you are from the old city new. Isis must have sent you coming. Sent your coming. Are you a rescuer? You must be. Sand People said you can go. Run to Anchorhead. Thanks you must have. The Jawas under Isis will reward you in trade. Isis will wait by the walls of your city you open to the Sand. He'll trade fair. Thank you. Alright, so if we're going to rescue, what's-his-face, we probably want to have Mission in the party. Oh, am I not allowed to change party members here? Hello, Griff.
You there. I'm a high-ranking executive at the Zerka Corporation. There's a big reward if you take me back to Anchorhead. So, you're here to save me, right? I'm sure you'll get a huge reward. Yes, indeed. Mission always said some people would pay to find me.
You know Mission? Who are you?
My name is Griff. You know her? Are you from Zerka Corporation? Please, tell me what's going on here.
I know Mission. She's here on Tatooine with me.
I'm her brother. She's alive? I can't believe it. When I heard about Taurus, I thought the worst. Come on, take me to her. Get me out of here.
Sand People said you can go. Run to Anchorhead.
What? No speeder escort? Okay. Okay, I should just take what I can get. I sure would like to see Mission, though. She's probably waiting for you on the ship you used to come to Tatooine, right? I think I'll go to the spaceport and see her. She'd like that. Thanks again. Oh, and don't tell Mission I'm coming. I want it to be a surprise when I show up at the spaceport. I can't wait to see the look on her face.
Uh-huh. No touchy the wicker baskets. No touchy the anything that isn't what we need. No touch. Rebecca is waifu. But you almost did it too. I almost did. They are just everywhere. It's so hard to not to. Oh, hey, there's another body out here. Nothing? Separate Ways for 4 remake is more lengthy, and other content that wasn't in the base game was implemented in it. Wasn't that DLC pack an Ada Wong expansion? Or am I thinking of something else? Yes. the expansion of RE4. Gotcha. The thing is, I kind of want to fight these things.
Thanks for your help. I don't think we'll try holding this position for much longer. We're not soldiers. Did the company send you? It's about time they drove these animals out.
It's the expansion of RE4. Sarge learning a thing! I learned a thing! I've agreed to try and stop the Sand People attacks.
You've got a lot of work ahead of you. Do you know about that? They've taken all the Zerka weapons that were supposed to protect our sandcrawlers. That place is a fortress. You'll have to find some way to...
I have to go.
Yeah, so... Ah, the Jawas was salt.
Yeah, I think we're done out here. I suppose we probably should put mission in the party. Alright, looks like we're gonna get to tie up a few loose ends out here. Easies. You have your kind. Easy Sajawa would thank you for what was done. Mine never turned because of you. It was as was agreed, as Easy's hoped it was. I have things to give you. Take and be welcome. Looking for something called a star map. Can you help? You have saved the tribe of Easies, and we of the Jawa are willing to trade. I know this. The sands of the east, eastern Dune Sea, we dig for the people of the sand, find the strange thing of the people before. We did not take it because of the dragons in the lair. That is where you have to go. Take this map to the eastern dunes. We're gonna have to fight great dragons. What kind of creature is that? Greatest of the desert. There is no larger. Bigger than the big machines. Jawas don't know how to fight something so big. There is a hunter, a Twi'lek. He has seen many things. Look in the eastern Dune Sea. Where you go, he may help. Thank you. I think I should ask for more. The tribe are the same possession we have, given what we agreed by all. Oh, I'll have to take it out of here, right? Just get out of here then. You are a good friend of the Jawas. We remember when you kind are gone. Ask if you need any more of anything. PS3 working once more. Oh, good. I'm glad you were able to get that figured out. Now I can play some Jak and Daxter games. That's cool. Never played any of the Jak and Daxter games, but I've heard a lot of good things about them over the years. Okay. Save. Good idea. Let's save.
Greetings again from the offices of Zerka Corporation. Is this about bounties or something else?
I have Gaffy Sticks to redeem for bounties.
I see that, but do you have the all-important chieftains, Gaffy? That was what you agreed to get for us.
Yes, here it is.
Well, that is a very big headache that you've removed. I'm sure there are still sand people out there, but they'll be quieter now. I think I'll give you a bonus for this. You lived up to your side of the bargain. Zerka Corporation thanks you.
Amount will suffice. Persuade for a bit more. I could maintain my vigilance in the future.
I think you'll find that the reward I've given is more than adequate for the task. No more is deserved.
Uh-huh. Alrighty.
I'm sure. Zerka Corporation thanks you again.
Sweet, we got a level. Learned some things. I want to ask about bounties. Anything I have to... Let's see. Not my affair. You want to hunt for Zerka Corporation. You talk to the protocol officer. What do we got for purchase? Show the sell list. Yeah, let's do that. Dark Jedi Knight robes. Combat suits. Kind of have a lot of everything, really. Republic mod armor. Let me get rid of some of this extra stuff I'm not going to be using. Yeah, probably not going to be using these. Yeah, the raid skulls. That's what ultimately what I was planning on doing here. Dark Jedi Knight robes don't make you Dark Jedi, just so you know. Yeah. We have a few blaster pistols. Probably don't need these, do we? Ion blasters, ion rifles, bowcasters, Chundar's bowcaster, blaster carbine, blaster rifles. There we go. Desert Raid skull plates. Yeah, there we go. Raid skulls. Oh, is another shop? Oh, it was a different place. Gotcha. Gotcha. Well, we can always go out and get some more. If you can see a company picking up the IP for KOTOR Remake, that's now cancelled and dead on arrival. Which company you feel be as deserving to revitalize it?
Is it really you?
That's a great question.
Was destroyed. I thought you were dead. Oh, joy of joys, my little sister is alive.
I have to ask you something, Griff. It's important. I ran into Lena. She said it was your idea to leave me on Terrace. It isn't true, is it?
Well, there's the truth, and then there's the truth, you know? I always meant to go back to Taurus, sis, just as soon as I had the credits to pay off my debts. But credits have been hard to come by.
You mean it's true? It was your idea to leave me there? I'm your sister. How could you abandon me like that?
Because he's a dirtbag.
You didn't need me to look after you anymore. You may have been young, but you knew how to take care of yourself. Besides, you're here now. I mean, everything worked out fine.
That's it? That's all you have to say to me after all these years, after deserting me on Terrace?
That and, you look good, sis. Like you're doing well. Financially, I mean. Say, you think you could spare me a few credits to get back on my feet? Do you?
You're hitting me up for credits. I don't believe this. Lena was right about you, Griff. We should have just left you to the Sand People. Don't talk to me anymore. Ever.
Wow.
That didn't go well. Sis was always a little too fiery for her own good. She'll cool down in time.
Now what, Griff?
You may have saved my life, but I don't have a single credit to my name. Say, you wouldn't be able to spare me some credits, just till I get back on my feet, you know?
I don't have any credits to spare. That's what I want to say. Is there any value in supporting this dirtbag? I wish I could say I wasn't expecting it to die the moment I saw the developer, who is known almost exclusively for porting to Mac and Linux. I don't know who I'd want to do it instead, but anyone but porting people. Not really. No value. Keep my credits. I don't have any credits to spare.
I guess you've been talking to Lena too. That's okay. I'll figure out a way to get by without your credits. I always do. Besides, I've already got a job lined up for me. Krita, the manager over at the Zerka supply shop, said I could come work for him if I ever get tired of the mines. Yeah, I think I'll go take him up on his offer.
Uh-huh.
Maybe there's something else you can help me with. I need to talk to a guy first and set up the details, but if you're interested in a job, come see me in Greta's shop. Goodbye, Mission. I'm glad you're not dead.
Helpful. Super helpful. Good job, Griff. You're gonna scream if Chris Redfield is in one more game as the main character. The thing is that I really don't know how I feel about Chris Redfield, because my first experience with him in Resident Evil 5, I didn't feel like he was super pretentious. He seemed very, very duty-oriented. Duty. But he didn't really come across to me as being a super douche. So I don't know. And I really didn't pick up on that since playing RE1 Remake either. And it wasn't until I started picking up some of the notes in Resident Evil 2 and seeing some of the other bits and pieces of lore throughout the other games that I started to realize, oh yeah, Chris Redfield is actually quite an asshat. And I was just kind of not really aware of that. So, as far as studios to pick up Knights of the Old Republic remake, you know, I'm not really too familiar with very many studios. I think that there's a few out there that would be, you know, they'd be really good for it, I think. But yeah, I'm not very familiar with certain studios for all of what they do. I kind of approach gaming almost the same way that I approach music. That thing I said about how I don't really get too involved with a band's politics or really get to know individuals too much inside of a band when I really start to investigate into them. It really has more to do with my appreciation of what the content is, rather than, you know, anything to do with like a portfolio or this or that about individuals. I straight up don't know. In any case, for me, gaming kind of goes the same way. I very much like games, and I like the games because they are what they are, and I don't often take too much of a look at what certain studios are doing. Sometimes there is an exception to that rule, such as like when something like Elden Ring comes out and all of a sudden I'm exploring into FromSoft and what their other games are. But that comes more as a perspective of I want to know what else that they have done that I might be able to enjoy. So in any case, yeah, this thanks, we got the hydrate and the loosen up. So yeah, it would be hard for me to really tell you for sure which studio I think would be best to pick up Coder, considering the fact that I, for one, don't really have a lot of an idea of which studio would suit that best. Other character MC not have games helpful RE6 sharing more story for the RE6 remake. I don't know anything about 6, to be completely honest. I've looked a little bit at 4, but don't know very much about it. I know basically nothing about 6. I know that in 7 7 and 8 are both Ethan, right? I think that's right. Sucker Punch would be ideal, but I doubt it. Probably, yeah. What they did to Mass Effect Andromeda, I have no hope for them at all, especially how abysmal Anthem became. Ethan is 7 and Village. How are you guys feeling about Ethan as a protagonist? He does actually have a quest for you if you're interested in going with his get-rich-quick scheme. I mean, if it doesn't pay out, then not really, but... Okay, how do we get to the East Dunes? I think we have to go back out this way, don't we? Just realized it's actually a little bit later than I had intended to stream for tonight, but we'll probably go just a little bit further and then wrap this up for the evening.
Oh, it's you again. Good.
Yeah, it's about 11:46 p.m. for me, so, and I've been up since 5:30 a.m., so starting to wear out. I've been kind of tired for the last little bit, just trying to hold on as best I can. Accident site, Sand People territory. I was kind of hoping that we'd be able to get all the way through Tatooine tonight, but
Hey, Bastila, you ever use the Force just for fun? You know, a little jolt of the Force to trip up some jerk who's ticking you off?
I would never use the Force for such petty and trivial revenge. The mere thought of it's preposterous.
Oh, come on. There's gotta be times when you've thought about it. Don't be so stuck up. You can tell me.
I am not stuck up. I merely have the years of training to give me the wisdom and understanding to see how childish such an act would be.
Childish? Is that a crack about my age? You ain't much older than me, Miss High and Mighty. Just because you're some Jedi doesn't mean you can be a prissy little... What the... Hey, that wasn't funny.
I have no idea what you're talking about, Mission. Come now, we have to get going. Please, do try to be less clumsy in the future.
Right. Earlier on, we talked about Baldur's Gate 3 on chat. I have to say I have a huge amount of respect for that company because I felt their passion, and I'm pretty sure we looted this guy already. Yeah. Emotions running high since one of their employers died just before they were making the game, and it took them 7 years. That's just amazing how a game like Baldur's Gate 3 brought RPGs to a whole new standard. Yeah, I mean, Baldur's Gate 3 has a lot of incredible depth to it. Anyone who hasn't really looked too much at it, I have to say, you know, might not fully appreciate what exactly it is and what it has done for this year's gaming. But yeah, I'm a fan of what it is. I just don't know if it's a right fit for me to play. It would be a very large game to have to go through. So, and I'm just not ready to commit to something that size at the moment. I am just trying to keep everything kind of casual and simple for myself with Jedi Survivor at the moment. Gotta get that ESO though. I love ESO. ESO is pretty good. Eastern Dream Sea. Yeah. It's precisely where we were trying to get to. Okay, we got one extra point to use here. Flurry. Conditioning. His feat provides +2 bonus to all saving throws, reflecting the character's extraordinary physical conditioning. Might be helpful to have that, actually. An activated Master Power attack adds +10 to damage on the next melee attack, imparts a -3 penalty to hit. Used to quickly dispatch groups of easy-to-hit opponents. Stun, stun droid, wound, affect mind, and dominate mind. As much as I would love to use some of these. Universal power. Opponent targeted by this power is pushed back 5 meters. No, I don't think so. This power is active. The Jedi is temporarily granted a +2 bonus to defense and all saving throws. Effect lasts 20 seconds. This power increases the physical attributes and saving throws of the Jedi and all party members by 2 points. Effect lasts for 20 seconds. This power offers some protection from direct force power attacks of Jedi. No, I think we're gonna take this one. I was tempted to play Elder Scrolls Online recently until I heard no crossplay, and I'm not about to play it on PS4. Nothing wrong with PS4, I just struggle with the controller, to be honest. I'm not sure I'm even tempted by ESO without a mouse and keyboard in general. Yeah, I mean, not having the cross-play from different servers can be a little bit annoying. That's one of those things that I kind of wish was a little different with that game, just being able to play with people on different servers, but alas, you know, it kind of is what it is. I have heard that it's mostly a Sony issue, more than anything else, but I do enjoy Elder Scrolls Online. I've dumped over 700 hours into it, and honestly, I'm still not even done with it. So, as difficult as it might seem to play something like an MMO on a controller, it actually plays pretty well for being on a console. So, surprisingly, not as difficult to play as one might think it would be. Not like oh, what was it? Neverwinter. Neverwinter kind of had some struggle for me. I had some difficulty getting into that one, if I'm being honest. Nerd. I mean, aren't we all? Aren't we all nerds here? Isn't that what we're doing here on Twitch? But be that as it may, I am also a human being, and a human being who has elected to go without caffeine. So, I'm tired, guys. I've been up for about 18.5 hours, and I just don't have it in me to keep going anymore. So I'm going to wrap it up here. But that said, we can see if there is somebody we can give a raid to, perhaps. Actually, no, it doesn't look like I've got anybody that I want to raid right now. Thanks again for posting the Discord link for me, Scorns. Appreciate that. Yeah, it's a Sony issue, but they could do it if they pushed it, for considering some companies have pushed Sony back enough to let it happen. If the developers of Rocket League can convince them, then Bethesda almost certainly can. Alright, have a good night. Yes, thank you. I just wanted to take a moment and say thank you to everybody for coming and hanging out this evening. I've been having a good time with Knights of the Old Republic. The only drawback that I've had is that sometimes it does feel like the progress is a little stifling, just trying to figure out how to complete certain things. It is a good thing that it provides an opportunity for trial and error, so we can figure out the correct course of action or figure out a way to get through a scenario. So yeah, it's been a lot of fun, even though it sometimes doesn't feel like we've been making a lot of progress. We did actually get a good amount of progress done this evening, so... thank you to Rar for the guitar breakdown at the start of the stream. I hope you guys enjoyed that little guitar session that we'd started off with. And then thank you guys for just hanging out with me, chatting with me, keeping me hydrated and posture checked, all that, and all the stretching as well. So, okay, guys. Yeah, next week should be a normal week for me. Like I'd mentioned before, I'm just going to cover this information one more time. I should be live next Tuesday. Hopefully everything goes according to plan. I'll be able to do my Tears of the Kingdom stream on Tuesday for more than just the hour that we had this last Wednesday when we were playing. We should be able to get into Tears of the Kingdom, get to enjoying that a little bit further. Curse of the Tuesdays, I know. I know. It's a problem that I have no control over, unfortunately. The Tuesdays just tend to be what they are. So yeah, that said, holidays are coming up. I am planning on streaming next week, but next week is essentially going to be my last week doing any amount of Twitch for the rest of 2023. So after next Friday's session, I will not be streaming again until after the 1st of the year. I'm not sure if that means that I will be live on the 2nd of January or if I'm going to be waiting until that Friday, but I will let you guys know through the Discord server. In any case, I will be closing the community poll next Friday. Next Friday is the cutoff for the community poll inside the Discord server. So right now Spyro is the current leader of that poll, and it's only ahead of Castlevania Advanced Collection by 1 vote. Final stream of 23, let's make it memorable, right? We'll do what we can, for sure. It's a change of pace from many modern games where they give you quest markers everywhere and spell things out a lot, and sometimes that's hard. A little bit. I mean, it helps to have a quest log to help me keep track of things so that it hasn't been too bad in this one. It doesn't want our kingdom to be teary. Tuesday is a hard day to do, and you both go to work, and your kid wants attention, and also middle of the week is taxing. It can be, Spyro, Castlevania Advance is tied right now. So we got a little bit of prompt tonight. Advance. So Castlevania Advance is tied right now. So there is an opportunity for it to take over. There is an opportunity that it could take over and be the game that gets played. So remember, guys, your votes all count. Since this is a tiny community, the votes all count. So yeah, go in and select your 2 favorites, or only pick one if you'd rather see only one make it through. In any case, yeah, the poll will shut down next Friday, and we will have our decided winner between what gets played after Knights of the Old Republic, which will probably be after the 1st of the year, if we're being honest. So yeah, that pretty much concludes everything that I've got. I hope that you guys all enjoy your weekend. Should be pretty fun, you know, enjoy your Saturdays. Share your stuff in the server as always. Let me know what yummy food you're eating. Let me know what music you're listening to, what shows you're watching. Do all that great stuff, because I love it. I love it. Drink bunch of cider, share Christmas gifts, exactly. Do all the fun stuff, because I just enjoy hearing about what you guys have got going on in your life, so it's a great time. And in any case, thanks again just for hanging out with me. Have I looked at Warehouse 13? I've talked about it with Keo. We have not looked it up yet, but I'm going to go do that right now, actually. So, thank you for reminding me about that, Juju. I will go and pull it up right now, and we'll take a closer look at that and see what we think. In any case, yeah, I'll see you guys in the Discord server through the weekend, and I hope to see you guys on Tuesday for Zelda Tears of the Kingdom. Enjoy your weekend. I'll see you guys. Have a great night.